The Comical Chronicles of Captain Max. Max, a young project manager at Gigaguru, was determined to climb the corporate ladder with his serious attitude and strict rules. But in an office where flying paper planes were the norm and Nerf gun battles were a regular occurrence, Max's style stuck out like a sore thumb. Enter Miss Rivera, the CEO who led meetings while wearing superhero capes and believed laughter was the key to success. Noticing Max's struggle, she challenged him to lead a project her way, with humor and heart. Max embarked on this unusual journey, swapping his stern emails for funny memes and his strict meetings for brainstorming sessions filled with goofy hats. Initially awkward, Max slowly began to see the change in his team. They were not just more productive, but also more creative and collaborative. The big test came with an urgent project. Instead of a tension filled all nighter, Max organized the Midnight Madness work party. Complete with funny hats and motivational dance breaks, the team worked like a well oiled laughter machine. And to everyone's surprise, they finished the project ahead of schedule. Max learned that leadership wasn't just about rules and deadlines. It was about creating an environment where work felt like play and every team member felt valued and heard. He didn't just become a better manager, he became Captain Max, the leader who fought dullness with fun. What's the moral of this story? True leadership is about connecting with your team, creating joy, and leading with a heart full of laughter and enthusiasm. Did you enjoy the story? Yes. So, the most important relationship, which is the foundation of all other relationships, is the relationship of a servant leader. And we are going to look at this relationship in much more depth and detail to understand what areas does this relationship impact, what are the correlating chakras and emotions attached to this particular relationship. So let's dive into the mind map. Now, if you see here, the chakra that is correlating to the relationship of a servant and a leader is the Muladhara or the root chakra. Now, within this chakra, there are two types of emotions. The first one is the positive, and the second is the negative. Now, the negative emotion attached on this particular relationship is the emotion of any guesses? Yes, if you have an answer, go type it in the comments or on the feed. The emotion is inertia. Now, what exactly is inertia? So, inertia is a lack of movement or activity. This often leads to some sort of stagnation, and overcoming inertia by engaging in any acts of service or leadership can enhance resilience in your life. Now, what is the positive emotion that we can inculcate within ourselves to get out of the emotion of inertia and transform this negative emotion into a positive one? So, that is the emotion of enthusiasm. Okay, because see, enthusiasm is a feeling of excitement and high interest. It can lead to increased engagement with not only oneself and their personal interest, but also with family, friends, and as a result it contributes to helping achieve balance in life. So this is basically the positive and the negative emotions and the chakra. Let's move on to understand what is the nature of this particular relationship. So the nature of this particular relationship any guesses? It is self-awareness. understanding who we are. If I ask you this question, who are you? What would your answer be? Take a moment to think about it. Some might say, I am a marketeer. Some might say, I am an entrepreneur. Some might say, I'm an accountant. Some might say, I am an engineer. Some might say, I am a teacher. Some might say, I'm a student. Some might say, I'm a guy, I'm a girl. Some might define themselves through their age. But all of that is not your true self. Who are you asking that question to? Who is asking that question? Try to think about it. Who are you? Okay. The next element of this particular relationship, the nature of this relationship, is community service. What do I mean by community service? Engaging in a form of service where you know that you are not going to be getting rewarded with any kind of material benefits. You are not going to be getting paid for this service. You are not going to be getting food in return for this. You're not going to be getting some kind of a partner in life through this service. It's not like somewhere there where you go to find a date in your life. No, no, no. We're talking about community service. When I say community service, it is volunteering services. It can be in a temple, it can be in a mosque, it can be in a church, it can be in an NGO, it doesn't have to be any organization. You can just go and serve whoever, however you like. You can go in an orphanage, you can go to an old age home. But community service is the most important factor that is part of this particular relationship. The next one is the leadership. So this is the third nature of this relationship. When we learn how to serve others, when we become a follower of someone else, that is when we truly understand the meaning and the importance of leadership. Because imagine I make you the leader of some organization in your company or some department, and you have never ever worked in that department at the lowermost role. When I say lowermost role, I don't mean in terms of uh, comparing directly. What I mean is in hierarchy. Because you see, there are some foundational roles, and then there are other roles that help build upon that. So I'm talking about lowermost in terms of the foundational. Okay, so if you don't do that, I am so sure that you will not know what kind of task to delegate to others. You will not be able to empathize with them. You will not be able to understand their challenges or help them overcome their challenges. That is why leadership starts with service. Okay, so this is a third element of the nature of this particular relationship. Now, what is the role of this relationship in our lives? So first, the role of this relationship is to help us achieve security. A sense of security is very, very important for our survival. And this particular relationship helps us and acts as a foundation that helps us feel stable, grounded, and secure in our lives. The next one is stability. Okay, so the relationship of a servant leader helps us in gaining more stability, fostering more stability in all areas of our life, let it be personal or professional. Because let's say you were with your spouse, and if you don't serve them, you both are not going to feel stable in that relationship. If they don't serve you, it's going to be the same for you. You're not going to feel stable. You're not going to feel that this relationship is going to be sustainable. The third one is responsibility. See, when you're serving someone, it is your responsibility to serve at your maximum capacity. How are you going to achieve that? You're going to achieve that by inculcating or imbibing a sense of responsibility within yourself. Now, let's look at what kind of actions can you take in this particular relationship to grow. Okay, let's look at the growth actions. So, there are 5 major areas that we'll be discussing for growing in this particular relationship. The first one, as I mentioned previously, is community service. So, what do you need to do? Very simple. First, figure out what are the acts of service that you want to do for your community. Let's say you're good at cooking, so you can go and volunteer for being a cook. Let's say you're good at serving food, then go to your community and serve food to them. Both are completely fine. And what I've written over here, points for acts of service, is whenever you complete these acts of service, you can keep a track of this. You can probably take some photos, you can get like a volunteering certificate, and you can bring it back to our community and upload the same. And in return, you will be allocated certain points which you can further redeem in return for our exclusive merchandise. Okay, next, you can just like acts of service, you can volunteer in an orphanage, you can all volunteer in an NGO. So whatever type of volunteering you are doing, you will get a certificate, bring that back, and you will get points for the same. And then you need to share it on the community feed, as I mentioned, so that you can redeem it in return for your exclusive gifts. Okay, these gifts cannot be purchased by anyone by paying money. These gifts are only and only accessible in return for these points. Okay, once you complete the quest, once you complete the actions within the quest, that is when you get access to these merchandise. And one more amazing thing about our merchandise is that it has a special QR code which then correlates to your profile. So people can find you, you can connect with other people of this community, or maybe people who are aware that we have this kind of merchandise. So you will be able to go around and roam with pride. It's almost like a uniform. You see, the defense people, army, air force, monks, spiritual people, everyone kind of has this uniform through which we recognize them and we understand who they are. So this merchandise in the form of t-shirts, hoodies, and uh, mobile covers, and so many other kinds of amazing merchandise, it's going to become a symbol of FyndFlow, and others will know that you have certain values and you're open to connecting with other people, and they will come and talk to you, and you will be able to make an impact in their lives as well. Okay, the next one, the next growth action is developing emotional intelligence. Now, how are you going to do that? Some people might already be emotionally intelligent, or they might believe that they are, but there are a few ways that you can do so. First and foremost, I will be putting down a link in this description. Okay, within this link, there is a flow assessment. This flow assessment, you can also call it an emotional intelligence assessment or an emotional intelligence calculator. Through this, you can understand what is your EQ or your FQ. FQ stands for flow quotient. Next, once you have that understanding, then you will know where you stand, if you are actually emotionally intelligent or not. Along with that, I am also going to be sharing a small PDF document which has the major emotions of our life listed, and you can develop some high level understanding of all the emotions through that. You will also know what is the difference between emotions and feelings through this document. Next is through meditation and mindfulness. When you sit in meditation, when you go in self introspection, That is when you are going to become aware of your own self. The more aware you become of your own self, the more aware you become of your emotions. And the more aware you become of your emotions, the more aware you become of other people's emotions. So, this is the next action that you can take in order to grow in the servant leader relationship. Next is leadership skills, developing leadership skills. Now, what actions can we take to develop leadership skills? So, first, you need to learn how to balance time. I will be conducting a few workshops in the short upcoming future, which you can register for, where I will be sharing tips, tricks, hacks, tactics, and blueprints, frameworks, everything. Basically, I will be sharing resources with you that will help you to develop better time management skills. Second is prioritization. There is no use of managing your time if you are investing that time or spending that time on unwanted things, right? So you will learn what are the important actions and how do you prioritize them in your life based on the stage that you are in right now. Okay. Next one is decision making. Again, in the workshop that we will be conducting, there is a very high possibility that I will be conducting workshops on leadership itself. So within these workshops, we will be sharing ways in which you can improve your decision making capabilities. Next action that will help us to transition from inertia to enthusiasm, from the negative to the positive, is self reflection. Although we will be talking much more in depth and detail in the particular video where we are talking about the relationship with oneself, but I will still give you an overview of that over here. So, the first action that you can take is to write a daily journal. We have so many things going on in our lives, and there's a study which says that the human being goes through 60,000 different thoughts every single day. And 80% of those thoughts, more than 80% of those thoughts, are on repeat. They're recurring. So in order for you to figure out what are those thoughts that are going on in a loop, in a pattern, you need to first write a daily journal. The next action within self-reflection is the power of gratitude. You see, in order to change the neural structure and the neural pathway within our minds from negative to positive, we need to become grateful in our lives. Okay? Because when we are grateful, that is when we try to look at the positive that's happening around us in our lives. So, maintaining a section within the daily journal for things that we are grateful for is absolutely a game changer. And the third one is setting goals and then reviewing them. Okay. If you don't set goals, you are never going to achieve them. Let's say you were a ship and you wanted to reach a destination. If you did not know which destination, I am so sure you would never reach that destination in the first place. I'm so sure you will not even get out of the harbor. But 9 out of 10 times, if you know where you are going to be heading, what is your destination, you are going to reach that destination. That is why it's super duper important, critically important for you to set goals in order to achieve them. And the fifth one is having habits and routines in alignment with your purpose. We'll be talking in more detail about your purpose in the upcoming videos, but for now, let's understand what habits and routines we can set. One, you need to have a proper sleep schedule. If you don't sleep for a minimum of 6 hours, for some people it can be 8 hours, but There's a possibility that some people are fine with 6 hours. But according to studies, anywhere between 6 to 8 hours is critically important for you to have a kind of a reset, okay? A refresh in your mind. So, sleep is the first habit you need to focus on, and that too in a particular given time. You need to ensure that you're sleeping by around 11, maximum 12 o'clock, because your body has this clock, a circadian rhythm, and it knows when the sun sets and when the sun rises. And you can't cheat it. There's no way that you can fool your body. So, this biological clock, this circadian rhythm, keeps a track of whatever is happening in your life every single day. And on a particular given time in the night from 11 to 3 a.m., 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., it removes the toxins from the body. Okay, it's almost like if you're running your laptop or your PC and you continuously keep running it, it is going to get burnt out, right? So that is why you restart it sometimes, you shut it down sometimes, you let it cool. Similarly, you need to sleep and rest for your mind to become capable of processing information and experiences and emotions and everything else, and the body needs to get recharged and remove all the toxins. Okay, next one is nutrition. If you don't feed yourself with healthy food, nutritious food, energy giving food, then how are you going to serve? Then you will need someone else to serve you. So it's important that you eat healthy, and not necessarily just eat. When I say nutrition, it can be mental nutrition also. So when you consume something, social media, phone, everything, be mindful and ensure that you're consuming something that is helping you learn, evolve, grow. Entertainment is fine, but not at the cost of degradation. Okay, so that's the second one. And the third one is the most amazing one of all of these. Most of the people have no clue about this at all. It is having a not to do list. There must be some actions in your life that are holding you back, slowing you down, but you are not able to overcome these. So, in order to overcome these negative habits, behaviors, what you need to do is create a not to do list and stick it at a place where you can see it every single day. Ensure that you do not do these things in your day-to-day life. It's going to take care of majority of your problems in life. Okay, now before we move on to the next video, I have something very important to share. See, most of the people, most of the leaders that I've met, entrepreneurs and everyone that I met, thinks that they just need to grind and they need to work hard all the time and take action, and without hard work they will not achieve success. That is absolutely not true. It is the mindset that will take you to those places that you dream of going. I don't mean physically, maybe physically also, but not physically necessarily. Let's say you want to manifest a certain amount of money in your life. You need to have the right mindset. Let's say you want to attract the right partner in your life, a loving spouse, a loving girlfriend. You need to have the right mindset. Let's say you want to resolve health issues. Let's say you're obese. Let's say you're too skinny. Mindset. So 80% you need to work on the mindset, and 20% you need to focus on the action. If your mindset is right, the actions will follow. So make a list of 3 things that you are going to change in your life, so that the impact of those 3 things can come through in your actions. So that those 3 things can change your mindset and make it such that 80% of the work is done through your mind and 20% through your action. And I'm not saying that you need to not take any action. I'm saying that you need to focus on the mindset. Okay, we'll look into the next relationship in the next video, which is of the relationship between friends. And I'll see you in the next one. If you're finding this video of any value, if you think this is contributing to your life, to your growth, then invite other people onto this amazing journey, onto this community. And today you know that people are so skeptical because you find so much noise. How will you help them? By leaving a review either on Trustpilot or Google Reviews. They will read the review and they will also join you on this journey. So leave something that really invites them. It should be mindful. It should give an insight to them about why they should join this community and be a part of it. Okay, and I'll see you in the next video.